How you doing, Patriots? It's February 16th, Friday, 2024, day 1136. Since FJB illegitimately took the oath of office. How you doing, Docs and Grandma? Hey, Sean, Deb Vi. I'm getting good on that watermark thing there, Deb. But still, definitely keep an eye on me. Man, there's a lot of stuff going on today. Pretty much spent a lot of time watching Soup Mama in Palestine, Ohio, where FJB is ready to, or just got done mumbling something that we're still trying to figure out what he said there. But man, I'm just so amazed at the army of live streamers we got now. Compared to People's Convoy, there was a bunch of live streamers there, but what it's turned into right now is incredible, man. We got so many good live streamers, so many good mods out there. Every single one of us has like learned stuff and jumped into this network that we have now. That is just amazing, man. We're all trying to figure out how to switch over to Rumble and go over to other social medias now, because Facebook is obviously going to censor us right before the election. So, yeah, I'm just so proud, so happy of the network that we have right now. So thank you all. Carrie, I'm looking at Carrie here. Deb for Freedom, Silly for Him, Gator Girl. All you guys, Sean. It's so amazing what this has become now. So it's just something else, something to behold. And then to see what's actually going on in Palestine, Ohio today, you're not going to get any clue about that if you watch Newsmax or any of them, Fox, any of them. They're not going to show you what really happened down there. There was one guy, Ben Bergson, or whatever his name is, from the War Room, Steve Bannon's channel, Real America's Voice channel, was in the crowd, though, and they might have somewhat of an accurate portrayal of what actually happened in Palestine, Ohio today. But yeah, man, so proud of you, Patriots. This is awesome. This is awesome watching this all come together. So we're going to quickly cover Vigil number 564 from Freedom Corner down at the D.C. Gulag in Washington, D.C., which is where they're holding these political prisoners now for some of them over 1,100 days without a trial. And this is just an outrage. It's no less an outrage. It's even more of an outrage than it was yesterday, because it just continues to go and nobody in government cares. And most of the people just can't even lift a finger, even after they understand that these are families that are getting destroyed by the Department of Justice right now. I've never seen anything like this in my life, and it's just horrible what's going on. Divide, you're not challenged. You got Rumble. All right, so we're all switching over to Rumble. We're doing it. We're going to make this happen, man. Okay, yeah, all right. So here, I'm trying to do a live stream, right? But Soup Mama's still on. Trump's getting ready to come on. And sometimes I just don't feel like coming on because I'm interrupting something else that's going on. So I just figure you can watch my show later and just get in on the Trump thing. Because I definitely want to hear what he's got to say. I watched a Trump speech last night that he gave. It was really good. I got a couple notes on that. But, yeah, there's just so much going on these days. Sometimes there's a lot going on. Back in the olden days, man, I can remember. We'd be at Freedom Corner. We'd get 2 phone calls all night. That was about it. There was no extracurricular live streaming going on. And then Screaming Steve got stuff going on, and it just started snowballing from there, man. Hey, Jerry, I just mentioned Steve, man. Right on. Yeah, so we got a thing going on here, Patriots. I mean, if there's anything to have hope in, it's that, I guess. But yeah. Okay, so Here's my Rumble channel. We're still trying to figure it out. Sean from USA is really helping me out here, getting some things straightened out. I got a couple of videos loaded, but man, I can't even figure out how to delete a video on Rumble yet. It's so lacking compared to what YouTube's got. But then again, we got censorship in charge of YouTube, so we're not going to be able to rely on it for sure. Just the same way we couldn't rely on mainstream media anymore to give us the real news. And we're going to have to just continue to adapt, duck and roll, dodge the punches. Good to see you, Jerry Plus, man. I was starting to think I should give you a phone call or something, man. I haven't heard from you in a while, man. It's good to see you, man. Okay, so the Trump speech wasn't any good in front of Mar-a-Lago today. What a ridiculous ruling that just came down. Apparently he's got to pay $350 million and not do any business in New York for a couple years. I mean, what is the sense of that? How can New York's... It just doesn't make any sense. It's absolutely crazy. All right, here's the link. Thanks, silly. Verdict in Trump civil fraud trial. Trump to pay more than $350 million in a 3-year business ban in New York City. What kind of a city would exile one of their biggest businessmen out of the city, you know? And then all these people screaming at Trump about how he's cheating everybody, but the banks are still lining up to give him money. So it is just the Trump derangement syndrome is something else, man. It's a mind virus, just like Elon Musk is talking about. It's a mind virus. That is the pandemic that we're in right now. Yeah, he's going to appeal, no doubt about it. All this stuff is going to get appealed, and it's going to get turned around. Look at the Fannie Willis fiasco down in Georgia. It's just insane, man. Insane. Yeah. I saw this kid in East Palestine had a sign that said, "Don't sniff me." Oh, man. So there was quite a good protest there in East Palestine. And Soup Mama was definitely one of the movers and shakers there. I think somebody else set the Trump rally protest up for that day, knowing Joe Biden would be there. But they're going to do another rally out to Palestine after March, early in March, and they're going to deliver a bunch of donations that people have collected for the people of Palestine. Excuse me. Yeah, smart kid, man. So then Joe Biden spoke for... he snuck into town some back way where he didn't have to go past Main Street. And then they spoke out by the railroad tracks, and they walked into this dumpy warehouse building with like 20 or 30 people. And Joe Biden kind of mumbled for a while. And then the head of the EPA, or the acting director of the EPA, got up, said something about, we got to make sure these train cars don't explode anymore. And really, that's not what happened there. The train cars did not explode. They set all them chemicals on fire after the train cars exploded there. So a lot of fake information, misinformation in the very things that Joe Biden and his man at the EPA was saying. And there was a very embarrassed looking mayor that spoke afterwards. I don't know how he could have not let loose on Joe Biden, knowing that he's a Republican. But I guess he did what he had to do. He showed proper respect for the office, even though the person sitting in that office deserves zero respect. And yeah, go check out Soup Mama's channel. She's doing gangbusters, man. Soup Mama is really rolling with it right now. She's doing a lot of good for the country here. She has a Rumble channel also called Soup Mama Official. That's her YouTube channel right there. Today she streamed all day on YouTube, but I'm not sure if she was on Rumble or not today. I never did get to check. She was on Facebook apparently too, is what she was saying. And then once the Biden entourage got there, all of a sudden the signal jamming started happening. And as soon as they got away from there, the signal jamming stopped. So they are using jammers around the president now, and I think we all knew that. I used to think it was just when there was be a whole group of streamers in one spot, like some of them things that happened this summer around the court thing, when there was thousands of people there and hundreds of streamers going, the signal would get jammed up, buffering and all that kind of stuff. But it's pretty obvious that they are just jamming signals, which, they keep talking about transparency. So what's up with that? What is up with that? How in the world are we supposed to vote when they just keep hiding more information and don't let us see what's going on? That is not transparency. Yeah, the water is still toxic there. The people have never been reimbursed. Apparently they dug up 350 million tons of soil and shipped it over somewhere. Somebody in the chat said, yeah, they brought all that soil over to Indiana. So, they're just moving the toxic stuff around, make it look like they're doing something. It's a total shit show. Our government is a total shit show right now, and they're not going to solve it themselves because they're all part of it. It's we the people time, America. This happens by us when we become the people, or it ain't going to happen. Okay, yes, there is an event flyer that she has on her channel there. And yeah, we're all going through some type of tribulation, man. Hey, Turbo, I'm sorry to hear about that, Carrie. Yeah, we are all going through tribulations, man, which should be leading us in one direction. That's right to God, man, right to his feet. Lay your burdens at his feet, man. He is good enough to take care of them for you. So we gotta, and maybe that's why it's happening. They got that saying, soft times make soft men. But, and we have been living through some soft times. So we gotta toughen up and buckle up and prayers up and flags out. So last night at Freedom Corner, Taylor John Takis was first call of the night there, and he was just so happy about Freedom Corner being out there every single day. I know we've been there many, many days, 564 days in a row. There's been Patriots at Freedom Corner now. But some of the guys, Jeff Sable and, Chris Quaglin, they've been in there over 1,000 days. So really, it took us too long to get there in the first place. But now we're there standing with them, making sure their voices are heard. And there is other things out there going on. I looked into the whole Jake Lang thing for a little bit and found some stuff about him. Jake Lang's got a channel called j6truth.org on Rumble. And he had Lou Dobbs interviewing him over the prison cell phone. And that was pretty much the biggest headliner news guy I've ever seen interviewing a J6er over the phone line. So I was pretty stoked to see that. Jake has been in there for over 1,100 days, pre-trial, still doesn't even have a trial date set. And Jake Lang's been calling his representatives from his state, from New York. They're not doing anything. Jake is totally on board with the thing about this being a spiritual warfare. He says there is no way that he would have been getting through all this without God helping him. And thinks that these Republicans are spineless amoebas, you know, and they are. They haven't lifted a finger for us. They are the representatives that we put in office to defend our rights, and they're not doing that at all. Their rights are being trampled in this prison and in this dragnet of J6ers, and it continues on even more. The Republicans all helped to vote in more money for the DOJ to go arrest. They got a list of 2,000 people more they want to arrest, and I can't imagine that overnight, all of a sudden, America's going to wake up and stand against this. But that's what we pray for. That's what we're hoping for. And even if they don't, we get to be the ones that did stand up. All right. So that's where God is guiding us in our walk every day. Every day, I just get through the end of the day. Try not to think about tomorrow. Every day has enough problems of its own. Just worry about today. That's a Bible verse right out of the New Testament. So that's how I try to live my life. That's the only way I could live my life without going insane. Okay, another link from Sylvia. Speaker Johnson has been fighting to release the J6 tapes and is being stopped by Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell, long past his overdue due date. How is that guy in office? You know, where's he from? Kentucky? You telling me that people of Kentucky actually elected him last time he ran? I ain't buying it. I am not buying it at all. Not at all. Hey, USA, we're all doing all right tonight, man. We're all doing all right. Hi, Crying in the Dark. Hi, Wild One. Hello, thanks for joining us tonight. So, yeah, check out the j6truth.org thing. I know there's a rift between some of the guys in the prison, but man, I'm not hearing Jake Lang saying anything bad about anybody, and he is on board with his faith. He is in the same struggle that all these other guys are in. They are all fighting the same fight against the regime that put him in jail, against the DOJ that's weaponized to take out Trump supporters. And check it out, man. And there is other shows that Jake has done. Actually, it looks like Jake does a call-in show from his prison cell. He was talking to that gal that ran for mayor in Baltimore. I forgot to write her name down, but he was actually interviewing her, and she's a spitfire, you know. I believe that she should have won her election if they didn't have fraud elections in Baltimore, you know. I think she was actually running for a Senate seat, though. And but man, she's a ball fire. We had a gal like that here in Pennsylvania running for our Senate seat, too, against Dr. Oz. And during the primaries, she got eliminated during the primary election for our last Senate race in Pennsylvania. And so there is obviously fraud Senate primary elections, fraud primary elections. They're all fraud till we get, like Trump says, one-day voting, paper ballots with voter ID. All right, he's saying the same thing I'm saying, and he said that again in his speech last night that I watched. Jake is on X, but I'm not familiar with any of the other social media centipede. But yeah, he is on X. There's a lot of other guys on X too. But I just don't get into that. I don't get into TikTok. I'm just, there's only so much of this junk I can expose myself to. Yeah, Kim Kuchik. Cusick or something like that, right? That's what I think it is. Crying in the Dark. That's that gal from Baltimore. Awesome leadership quality in that woman, and she didn't win the election, you know. Okay, here we got Jake Lang's Truth, j6truth.org, and that looks like his website there. His Rumble channel is also called j6truth.org. So if you type that into Rumble, you should be able to find that. You guys like X? Really? I just have not tried to even get in there. And I've seen a lot of like goofy, gossipy stuff happen through X. But if it's another social media. So, I mean, we should all... Kim Klasick, that's it. Jay Jones got it. Ding, ding, ding. Jay wins the prize there. Yeah, X is just... I'm not a big social media guy in the first place, so... I just got to limit how much I did. I gave up television in the 80s, and it was a big deal for me to get this phone. And I can't wait till the day I can get rid of this phone, but we got things to do, Patriots, before I can do that. So, all right, let's get back to Taylor Jonatakis here. Kudos to the Freedom Corner Warriors every day. And then he got onto a little mini rant about the phone system. Why is the phone limited? You know, these guys pay to use the phone, but they still are limited to 15 minutes a day or 300 minutes a month, I believe it is. And here we got Taylor Jonatakis. You know, we don't want the children at home to suffer, but he's got 5 kids. So how does he manage staying in touch with his 5 children while he's in prison, unjustly to begin with? But how does he keep his family together? How does he reduce the damage? How does he control the damage to his family with 15 minutes a night to talk to 5 kids and his wife? It's insane. And that only damages more children, okay? And there's studies that show that these people that get in prison all the time, the prisons are packed with people who are in jail and that grew up in fatherless homes, okay? Grew up in single-parent homes, and that is a large cause of illegal behavior. And here we have Taylor Jonatakis' children just in the pipeline to be another generation of fatherless children. So how does that help with recidivism? With people that go out, get in jail, get out, and then get back in jail again. I mean, there's got to be a way to limit the damage to the children, you know. Let's think about the kids here. We should always be thinking about the kids. And these are heavy-duty things that we should be thinking about for the welfare of our country, because life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness involves taking care of your children and giving them the best possible life that they can have. So after Taylor called in, we got a call from John George Todd III. And he is new to the C3A pod. He is in there to be sentenced soon. And it was good just to get to know him. Another young working class guy who saw what happened on that election in 2020, stood up against it, and got sucked into whatever happened at the Capitol that day. And all kinds of information on that, finally, 3 years later, is trickling out about that. We got all this new information on the pipe bomb. We got all this information about these cops lying on the stand, all this information about the J6 Fraud Commission hiding old records of interviews that they did and stuff. I mean, it's really obvious that something nefarious happened with the whole event, and that's all coming out, but man, it just ain't happening fast enough. In the meantime, these guys are all getting sentenced to prison, you know, and their families are being detrimentally impacted by all of this. And I think that was the second time that John George Todd III called us. But it was good to hear from him, man. And then between phone calls, I was on Sapphire Patriots channel, and it turns out that she's going to be able to go to this CPAC event in D.C. coming up here pretty soon, which is on the 21st through the 24th. And hopefully she's saying that she's going to live stream a lot of this. So the tickets for that are, I think, $100 for the 4 days. You can get a ticket to get in there. I think there's a higher price ticket for getting in there. So we're trying to organize some money to get Sherry to accommodate for this, for attending this CPAC event. And last year, the Mickey and Nicole and Tammy, I forget who was in town at the time. I think it was Mickey and Nicole, and I think Tammy was there too, went to CPAC last year and made quite an impact. They started calling that crowd the J6 Pack crowd. So they got a little moniker, a little name for themselves out there. They're going to be the J6 Pack crew this year, and hopefully just bring more attention again to the J6 issues. And hopefully all these CPAC people who are ignoring the whole J6 issues will go, wait a minute, that was last year. You mean J6 is still going on? And yeah, it's still going on. They're still arresting people all over the place. Oh, what do you got for us here, silly for him? Minnesota School District allows Muslim families to opt out of the LGBTQ curriculum. So do we got to convert to Muslim, to Islam to get out of the gay stuff at school, the tranny stuff at school? That's a little weird. Let's make new rules. Everybody isn't equal or something. There's subgroups of people that we've been divided up, man. Yeah, you remember at CPAC last year, Stephanie, that awesome patriot from New York City. I believe she's from New York. So hopefully she'll be around then. She works them circles real hard, man. She's a great patriot. I saw Stephanie out at Lewisburg Vigil a couple times and Freedom Corner a couple times. And last year, while CPAC was going on, I do believe a whole busload of CPAC attendees came to the corner. So it did bring a lot of awareness to Freedom Corner and the J6 issues that are out there right now. Then, all right, so let's jump on Sapphire Patriot tonight. We'll put up her Give, Send, Go and her Cash App and stuff. And if you can, contribute to Sapphire Patriot so we can get her out there to CPAC and get her to show us what's going on there. She's another one I'm really proud of, man. She's just doing a great job with that channel she's got. She's very new at it, but she's giving us good camera angles, working on the sound, narrating things that go on as they happen. And it's just really cool to see this talent happening with like Sherry and Soup Mama and Trooper and all of them, Rebecca, Glory be. Look how good these people are now, and they're good at it. It's awesome. It's awesome watching it. Chris Quaglen got on the phone, and he was kind of joking around about he got his first piece of hate mail. And then he proceeded to read the hate mail. It was 4 pages of handwritten hate mail that he got. So I would say there's a triggered troll out there somewhere, and they just had to vent their frustration and write Chris a letter and tell him how stupid he is and how, just watch the Vigil last night and see Chris Quaglen's phone call, because it was comical what's in this letter. That somebody would take the time and write a hate mail to somebody. I got a hate mail a while back, and C4 Freedom was in the chat. She's like, you should read your hate mail on your stream. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't think so. But yeah, I couldn't believe it when I got a hate mail thing. In fact, one of the first letters I got when I set up the post office box was a piece of hate mail. And I'm like, oh no, what did I just do? But that was the only piece of hate mail I ever got. And I was touched, okay, all right, so I'm making an impact somewhere. At least they're hearing about Jesus too. They're in their little bubble. They don't hear about Jesus anywhere in their life over there. And it's kind of wild how God sends them in here and we can tell them about Jesus, and they're a sinner and they're going to burn in hell if they don't accept the blood of Christ to atone for their sins, so that they can talk to God and try to figure out how to have a nice life, Try to learn stuff about love instead of hate. They are totally driven by hate. So Sherry's got a YouTube and a Rumble, and Sherry got her Rumble going last night too. In 2 nights. She got it in 2 nights. The first night she tried to get it up, and it was just looping on the intro video. But on night 2, she got the Rumble up. It went all night long. Had a chat going on in there. Smalley, are you in here, man? Dude, you were taking care of Sapphire's Rumble chat really well, man. I thought that was awesome. Small water guy stepping up to the plate and doing what he can for the cause of freedom in America. It was great. I didn't see small water guy in here yet, but he did it great. I kept flipping back to Rumble just to make sure it was still up and stuff. And small water guy had it going on in the chat there. So we still got to figure out how to mod on Rumble. Still got to figure out how to do a bunch of different things there. Rumble doesn't really give you the date that a video was released on, so it's hard to tell how old the videos are in the lineup when you click on a channel. I still can't figure out how to pull just a channel address off of there and post it. All I can do is pull a video link off of them per videos, but man, so we got a lot to learn on the Rumble thing, and I just had to take a day off from geeking out on the phone today. But Sean apparently got some headway today up at the library, and I don't know if you can mod Rumble from a phone. It kind of appears. Okay, Deb for Freedom, you got information that we need, man. Modding is easy to set up and do on Rumble. Can you do it from a phone? Do you have to have a computer to do it? Can you block people? Can you time them out? I gotta know. I gotta find out all this about Rumble. And then I'm looking to jump into the Rumble and try to do a simultaneous stream on Rumble as I'm doing the YouTube thing until YouTube kicks us out. But for right now, there is more people for me on YouTube. All right, Deb. I'll come by. Need a Rumble class or something there up at Deb for Freedoms. Okay, you can mod from a phone, Tammy Green says. Well, that's good, since that's all I got. And Gator Girl, look at Gator Girl taking off, man. Man, she is just awesome with the links on the channel I'm helping out with there with Sapphire Patriot. All right, Jay Jones, good to see you, man. It was great seeing you all day long, too, on the Palestine live stream today. Okay, so yeah, Chris Quaglian's hate mail was really funny. Tammy did the roll call, and then right after the roll call was done, she made an announcement that J6er Jason Wallace is getting out of prison. That was good news. We need these little good news points every once in a while. That really helps. And then Jeff Sable called in, sang a national anthem. Sherry was doing a really cool shot of the national anthem, panning the crowd, panning the flag, did an aerial shot, you know. Doing really great out there with the camera work. And then after the national anthem, the chit chat with Jeff and Tammy was about Fani Willis, the Fani fiasco going down on the Donald Trump trial there. Now we're just talking about Fani Willis for days and her disgusting sexual preferences and stuff. I mean, just give me a break, man. Give me a break. Gator Girl, you're having trouble with Rumble too. All right. We'll figure it out, though. We'll figure it out, man. We'll know tomorrow. We'll know more tomorrow than what we know today, right? She had a Fani fiasco going on down there. And then also, they've been talking the last couple of days about this gal, Tina Peters, down in Colorado. A grandma worked the elections, got arrested because she found fraud in Mesa County, Colorado, where she was working the elections, and then tried to make copies of the hardware that was on these machines. And that turned into being some type of a copyright issue with Dominion voting machines, and they arrested her. So, but it turns out everything she saw was true, and that's coming out slowly a year after she got arrested. with all the info that's finally happening down there. Fanny's dress was on backwards. Oh my goodness. And these are like the highly paid professionals in the legal system down there. And she can't even put a dress on the right way, right? Unbelievable. Okay, let me post my P.O. box in case you got it, in case you don't have it yet. That's the only way I got to get donations. I got one axle to put on my van, and I got put new brake pads on the front while I'm up there. So by the end of the weekend, my van should be up and running. It is up and running now, but until I gotta take a trip, I got to get that work done on it. So anything you guys can send me to help out would keep me rolling, and that's what we got to do in order to keep this network alive. We got it's viewer-funded networks, and it takes that from, if you like the content that you're getting. And I think these live streams are awesome. So like today, if you do a lot of screen time, you didn't have to watch the reruns of Star Trek on TV all day today. You could watch Soup Mama, waving flags and chatting with patriots on the corner of Palestine, Ohio. It's way more fun than watching TV, that's for sure. But we got to keep them streamers funded so that they can continue to do that. It is a huge investment of time and just commitment when you decide to pick up a YouTube channel. Wow, Silly, you do all the modding on the phone too? Okay. I thought you had a computer. I thought you had like 5 TV screens up in your room there and you were chatting on all of them at the same time. I just had this visual that like you had this command center, Silly, that you would mod from. You do it all on the phone. That's amazing. That is amazing. Yeah, the Trump derangement syndrome is running thick. And I think they got AI robots now that have Trump derangement syndrome, that they just spam anti-Trump comments now. I don't even know if most of these TDS people are real, but there is some real ones, that's for sure. That is for sure. So that's it for Freedom Corner, man. It was another great night out there. The weather was good. It was a little cold, but it was good. All right, and then on some other topics, I think Mags had a Thursday night show last night that was pretty good. I sat in through that, and there is one video, I think it's from Oreo, called the Border Karen video. It's a clip out of one of his streams, and it is just unbelievable, man. You want to see a lefty lunatic, click on this video, Border Karen from Oreo. This woman is just going off. Oreo and Joe are down at the border, the southern border, filming like one of these camps and all the people lining up. And this lunatic woman is just in their face with a camera and stuff, and just saying the goofiest things. You can see it in her eyes. She's not right, She's chemically imbalanced or something. And then she had a couple other guys with her who wouldn't even like put their face on a camera, Dead for Freedom, you use a laptop too? It's easier to look up the links. Okay. All right, we're learning. I don't think I'm ever going to get a laptop though, but I'll do what I can without one. It's just another one of them things. I don't want to go there. Okay, I saw an exciting thing from Troy Nels, who is opening up a line of questioning about the Gulag Lieutenant Lancaster when she deployed OC spray like within an inch of the guy's face for not wearing a mask. Okay, the guy did not need to be subdued. This was using a defensive weapon in an offensive manner. It caused great harm to his face. And finally, a year later, Troy Nehls is finally asking questions about it. I doubt it'll go anywhere. It's encouraging to see one of our leaders questioning about it. Lieutenant Lancaster was removed. We don't know if she got fired or if she's being charged or anything like that. She probably got removed and got a nice little severance check. But ultimately, the investors in that prison should be responsible for this. That's the people that they're hiring to run that gulag, and the gulag is a private jail. That's something I found out a couple weeks ago. But I doubt it's going to go anywhere. But this is the opium that this government and these Republicans keep feeding us to make us not just say that's enough and rise up and end it ourselves. Trump then gave a speech, and after a couple of just really good comments, I started writing comments down where he's got to continually, yes, that was Sheriff McAbee, that's right, that got sprayed in the face like that by Lieutenant Lancaster. A total assault on this guy. And apparently Troy Nehls can't even get the body camera footage from the prison. They keep stonewalling that attack, and that guy's a congressman, and he can't even get the body camera footage. So I don't know how we're supposed to vote, Patriots, when we don't know all the facts about everything, when they keep so much stuff secret from us. But Trump in his speech was in a speech from North Carolina. No, it was confusing. It was from North Charlotte, South Carolina, was the speech that he gave, and this was from 2 days ago. We forget all the things that Trump accomplished during his 4 years in office, man. And one of the things that he accomplished was he just did a top-down shakeup of the Veterans Administration. And he was saying about how there were these sadistic people in the higher echelons of the Veterans Administration that he got rid of. And it was known, man. There were these people that just wanted to torture people, and they just so happened to be vets because they had to happen to get positions in the Veterans Administration. And then there were rules about how you can't just fire anybody in there. And so they became entrenched. It appears that they made little enclaves where other ones would come in, and they were all protected. And Trump said that he fired 9,000 people from the VA. Like, I thought there was 50 of them, right? I had no idea, and I'm a Trump fan, that he got rid of 9,000 people out of the VA. And now I'm hearing way better things about VA, man. My one buddy's wife got a job at the VA here, and she says it's great, man. Ann Lake and crew went down to a veterans home a month ago or so and live streamed it, and it looked like a very pleasant place, man. I mean, if you're disabled and you're a veteran, these guys had an apartment, they had medical care. It looked like a house, not a sterile hospital room, and it appears that the care for the veterans has improved a lot. And that Trump fired 9,000 of them. Trump also was mentioning what a shithole D.C. is, man. And the amount of crime that's happening down in D.C. right now is through the roof. And he literally calls D.C. a death trap and says if he's elected, he's going to just clean that city up, man. He had a whole itinerary, everything is going to happen with fixing up of the cities. And the cities used to be so much cooler, but now they're just dumps, man. Another thing that Trump said was that we need one-day voting, paper ballots, voter ID. That's a no-brainer. That's common sense. How else are we going to get a valid election, man? How else? Okay, and then there was, at the end of his speech, man, he mentioned about the J6 hostages in prison. He called them hostages, and they are hostages. Their rights have been stripped They're being charged on trumped up charges. Man, who was I just reading? I was just reading Taylor Taranto's. Angelina sent me the Taylor Taranto's charges just came down. He's got 10 charges. Now, you know, Taylor, he was at J6, okay? He was a little bit of a nut, but not so much so that I couldn't hang out with him. And he just got 10 charges, all right? So he did have a gun on him. A gun, just possession of the gun, turned into 6 different charges, okay? The one act of having that gun in his van, I mean, he never got it out of the van and attacked any or used it or anything. They just found it when they searched his van, turned into 5 charges. Possession of a firearm, possession of a firearm without a license, possession of ammunition for a firearm, possession of a magazine to hold ammunition for a firearm. I mean, they just stack up these charges, and I can't imagine that this is right, you know. And that's the same thing they did to the J6ers. If you walked into the Capitol and then walked out the other side, you got entering a Capitol, you got parading in a Capitol, you got disorderly conduct in a Capitol, you got and it's for one act that you did, one thing that you did, they charge you with 7 different things. And that I can't imagine is lawful or legal or whatever the mumbo jumbo legal term is for that. I don't know. Doesn't seem right though. And then right at the end, man, Trump had this to say. This is your home, your heritage. And American liberty is your God-given right. There it is in one sentence. This is your home. This is your heritage. And American liberty is your God-given right. This is not something that the government bestows on us. This is from God. If the government is not backing it up, we are backed by God to get it back, to demand that we have it back. Okay, and that's about it, except for one thing, you know. When this happened back when Trump was president, right at the end of his presidency, do you guys all remember when Trump got banned from Twitter? Okay, they took the sitting president, the current president of the United States was removed from Twitter, okay? So, and I was just outraged. I could not believe that you could do that to the president. That would be like not letting the president of the United States shop in your store, or not letting the president of the United States drive one of the cars you make. You know, it was definitely a selected attack on somebody's freedom, you know? So, who was the person? There had to be a person who hit a button somewhere that deleted Trump off of Twitter. Who was that person? Is that person, if somebody wanted to take over the government and somebody wanted to, remove the person in power who is legitimately in power, wouldn't the person that hit that button be guilty of treason? So I think we need to know who was that guy. Elon Musk was not in charge of Twitter at that time. So we're talking about some other people. We don't know if it was the owner, what was that, Bezos or whoever, or Jack, the dude with the weird beard. Somebody hit a button and deleted Trump off of Twitter. And that, I believe, was a treasonous act. And nobody's really coming back to that thought at all. But they took the sitting president off of a social media. It's so absurd. And we are in this age of absurdity where it's just one absurdity on top of another that makes the last one seem like nothing compared to the new one, the latest absurdity. The latest absurdity being mumbles FJB getting up in front of a podium a year after a train disaster in Palestine, Ohio. This is in our face every day. These are public humiliation rituals meant to just make us shut up and sit down and not give a shit about anything. And if that's what you do, then they are getting exactly what they want by parading these absurd things in front of our faces every day. Okay, what do we got here? GOP Rep Mark Green will not seek re-election after leading the impeachment. Oh, so he's the one that led the impeachment. He's not one of the leading the impeachment of DHS Secretary Mayorkas. One of the guys that voted no on that is not running too, and we're having this. A lot of Republicans are just leaving office, sometimes before the end of their term, and that has caused a real problem with what used to be a Republican majority in the House is now having a 2-seat majority now. We used to have like a 9-seat majority. They removed George Santos, and then McCarthy's stepped down. A bunch of them just quit. So here we got backstabbing Republicans who don't care about the people that they were elected by, and they are just thumbing their nose at us right now by leaving office before their terms are done. And then our government was made platforms disinformation, called disinformation on it. What is disinformation? Don't I need information to vote? Don't I need to be able to make a judgment on what happened with Trump getting removed from Twitter? So how do I know who I should vote for if I don't know why he was removed? The reasons that were given were lies, and I could see that. Okay, we got another link here. Reporter threatened by Border Patrol documenting illegal crossings in Lukeville, Arizona. Wow, the Border Patrol actually threatening people now down there. I don't know, man. Now we know what just happened with Oreo and First Responders Media and Big D on Master Grifter. They all just got deleted by YouTube. So not only do you have the law down there and the fact that mainstream media isn't telling you a damn thing about what's going on at the border, but when you get live streamers down there, they don't even need to go after you with the justice system. They just make a phone call to YouTube and say, get rid of these 3 guys. And how much of our tax money goes to YouTube to delete those 3 guys, you know? It's a damn shame, man. It's a damn shame. Vote out the rhinos, but man, we got to secure that election. Got to secure the elections, man. Yeah, Stormbringer, Border Patrol equals treason. It's starting to look like the season of treason. It's everywhere right now. It's all over the place, man. We got the DOJ, we got the FBI hiding information on us. The FBI and the intelligence officers that framed up Trump on the Russian information, Russian collusion investigation. All that's coming out now too, and it comes out, but nothing happens. So we the people got to make something happen. All right, so today was Friday, so we had visitation going on down at Freedom Corner today. I hope some of the patriots in jail there got some good visits. I do know that I like hearing about the visits a little bit when they come out of there, and I do know that Sapphire Patriot had a visit today. And I just got a notification that Stormtroopers up and Northern Neck Patriots is up right now. Northern Neck Patriots are having a vigil tonight too. It's Friday night, and they are down there in Warsaw, Virginia by the Northern Neck Regional Jail, and they are carrying the torch on getting to the bottom of the corruption at the Northern Neck Regional Jail down there. So Northern Neck Patriots has a YouTube channel. You can watch there. They're meeting indoors now. The sound is much better than trying to meet out by the jail with the highway noise and stuff. So they are getting some good phone calls there also. So we got several vigils now that we can switch around to. Right, it's going to be easier to say who isn't treasonous at this point, man. So we'll have to wait and see. Every day the God lays out the path. I pray we don't screw up the path. That God made a plan for each and every one of us before we were even born. And when I just sit down and imagine how much of that I have screwed up so far, my prayer is that please don't let me screw up, let me walk this path and do the things that you intended for me to do so that I can help bring this country back to a moral society. Look how far we have fallen, patriots. It's not pretty. And that is the reason for everything that's happening, man. Revival solves everything, ultimately. In a country that claims to respect and worship God, if you got drag shows at elementary schools, that ain't it then. Then that means that is not a country that respects God and has morals. Because that is just taking God and turning good into bad and bad into good. It's absolutely upside down, man. Yeah, Julius Trump lost that civil trial in New York City. It has to pay $355 million. And we'll see if that happens. So, all right, Patriots, time for Freedom Corner. Sorry I got on so late. There was just so much cool stuff happening here down in Palestine. That was fun watching that. And I'll see you in the chats up at Freedom Corner, Patriots. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for participating. Thank you, mods, for everything that you do. God bless us all. Help us, God, help heal our infirmities and comfort our souls here so that we may carry on another day. God bless you, Patriots. This is Jericho, over and out.